The stubborn clerk who blew my secret cover. The microphone screeched, echoing through the crowded jury assembly room. I was just trying to do my civic duty under my new safe name, Mark. But Mrs. Gable, the head clerk with the beehive hair, wasn't having it. "Excuse me," I had whispered at her desk just minutes before. "The system says Mark, but my file has a red federal lock on it. Please, whatever you do, don't read the linked alias." She rolled her eyes, slamming her date stamp. "I've worked the county courthouse for 29 years, honey. We don't do secret agents here. Go sit down." My stomach tied itself into a knot. The marshals had promised me this alias was ironclad. A new social security number, a quiet apartment in Ohio, a boring life. I was supposed to be a ghost after testifying against the largest crime syndicate in Chicago. But the government bureaucracy is a mess. Mrs. Gable tapped the microphone. "Listen up, folks. When I call your legal name, say, 'here.'" She rattled off a few names. Then she paused. She adjusted her glasses, staring at her computer screen. "Sir, this system is a joke," she mumbled over the speakers, making sure all 200 people in the room could hear. "It has you listed under a restricted file, but your real name is right here." I jumped out of my plastic chair. "Please, stop! Turn the mic off!" People turned to stare at me. I was sweating through my shirt. Mrs. Gable glared at me like I was a toddler throwing a tantrum. "Sir, sit down. Court procedure requires full legal transparency." She took a deep breath, leaned into the mic, and said it. "Dominic Moretti." The blood rushed out of my head. That name hadn't been spoken out loud in 3 years. Not since the trial. Not since the hitmen shot up my old house, thinking I was still inside. A collective gasp echoed in the room. Someone in the back row dropped their coffee. Dominic Moretti wasn't just a name. It was the name on a $2 million bounty. Within seconds, 3 people had their phones out, texting, Googling, recording. My new life, my safety, shattered by a grumpy clerk who couldn't follow a simple computer prompt. Before Mrs. Gable could call the next name, the heavy wooden doors at the back of the room kicked open. A massive guy in a tailored suit stormed in, his hand resting firmly on the holster at his belt. It was Agent Miller, my detail. He didn't walk. He stalked straight up to Mrs. Gable's desk. He slammed his silver badge right over her keyboard. "United States Marshals," he barked, his voice bouncing off the high ceilings. Mrs. Gable's smug expression melted into pure ghost white terror. "You just broadcasted the identity of a federally protected witness," Miller growled, leaning in so close she shrank back in her chair. "You breached a sealed court order and endangered a man's life because you wanted to play by your rules." She stuttered. I was just following the—" "You followed nothing," Miller snapped. "Grab your coat, Mark. We have to go. Now." I didn't even grab my newspaper. I practically ran down the center aisle, feeling the stares of 200 strangers burning into my back. As we pushed through the doors, Miller was already barking into his radio. "Code red. Identity compromised. We need a dust-off right now." He shoved me into the back of an unmarked van, idling by the curb. "New city by midnight," Miller said, slamming the door. I leaned my head against the cold glass, watching my quiet Ohio life fade into the rearview mirror, all because someone just had to be right.